So there I was, about to beat the concrete with my feet, when I realized that my shoes did not work with my outfit. So every glam girl must solve for this dilemma. So I went to www.glamstash.com. That's right, www.glamstash.com. And right there is where I found a bomb-ass pair of shoes. Because let me tell you something, okay? Every girl deserves fly shoes that won't break the bank or sacrifice fashion. So why not head over to glamstash.com so you can beat the concrete with some fly-ass feet. That's www.glamstash.com. And you can also follow them on Instagram at The Glam Stash. That's right, on Instagram at The Glam Stash. Tell them a seat at the table sent you. Now go get your feet together. Now on with our show. All right, y'all. Welcome on this rainy day. Oh, y'all. This week has been quite a doozy for me. Now, first of all, I don't know about you, but when it is a rainy day like this, the only thing I ever want to do is just lay in bed. But because of commitment and consistency issues that I'm working through, here I am. That's right, a fresh, all-new episode of A Seat at the Table starts now. And we are here, we're queer, and we ain't going nowhere. That's right, you can find us, A Seat at the Table Pod, all one word on Instagram. You can find me, all right, it gets fuzzy here, but you can find me, A Seat... not A Seat at the Table. You can find me, Zaika79, on Instagram as well. And you can also follow us on Twitter at Galanda. We go through this every week, but at Galanda, that's GAILONDAADAMS on Twitter. That's right. I know how to spell words. Thank you. Oh, y'all, I know that y'all are all probably just waiting for this new episode because this week, honey, was a commercial, okay? But I know you guys have been patiently waiting. You're probably sitting by your window, looking outside at the rain, all alone on a Sunday morning. Outside, I hear the raindrops falling. Oh. Don't ask me why I feel like I needed to sing the song in my Rosie Perez accent. But, honey, I'm from the Bronx, puta. Okay? I'm from the Bronx, you little puta. Okay. So, how's your week been? What's going on? Oh, my God. Okay, so I told you that I resigned from my job. Now, I still have some time left that I am working through. But I have to tell you that Again, I'm still continuing with my journey of feeling kind of light about it and just feeling light overall. And so thank you guys for keeping me lifted up in your minds and in your prayers. And, you know, I do the same for you. So hopefully whatever it is that you're working towards or anything that you are trying to give up or work through, hopefully this show is a healthy attribution to that. And that you could be delivered, like my friend Kanye West. But we'll get to that later. Okay, let me tell you what happened to me this week. First of all, please excuse my voice as I am battling a cold. So earlier on this week, I kind of felt myself like, you know, a little bit of an achy muscleness. And then I was like, you know, my throat didn't feel itchy. I just felt phlegmy and a little achy and a little sleepy. And so, at any rate, by Wednesday, Thursday, I was like, all right, I have a cold. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to get home. I'm just going to go to sleep. I'm going to drug up because I've got to get rid of this. Like, this cannot become like a thing, pneumonia or the flu or whatever. This cannot become a thing. So, whatever. I decide after I go to sleep early on a Friday night to kind of cure the cold that I am going to go for at least 3-mile run Saturday. That way I can kind of drain myself of any of the toxins and sweat it out and, you know, get the phlegm out and all that other gross, disgusting shit, right? So I go for a 5-mile run because why? I'm an overachiever. Okay. So I go for a 5-mile run, which in total probably gives me maybe about 50 minutes of running time, right? So I go for a 5-mile run. I go by the water. It's beautiful. White people are, sticking their thumbs up at me. Everything's great. I'm every, fourth of a mile, I'm like spitting out something green and disgusting. I'm just painting a picture for you. Don't be disgusted. I'm just saying all that to say, so I get home, I go immediately to sleep because my body at that point is like, my legs are basically like, bitch, we didn't do this to you, so why are you punishing us? Which, by the way, today they are still throbbing beyond measure. But I will say this, I feel way better today. I don't feel as congested. I do have a Dayquil on deck, just in case. However, I have not had to take any because the 2 holes that are in my face that comprise my nose actually happen to be working today. So, delivered. Okay? In other shenanigans this week, I want to tell you how I've been delivered from drama. Okay, so let's get into it, right? I told y'all about my own very young boy that I was dating. I don't like to call him that because I feel like that's demeaning. He's a man. He just so happens to be younger than me. Anyways, we all held hands and agreed as a congregation that was not going anywhere and we were moving on, right? Okay. So I was able to let go. He seemingly not so much. And I think that was more of an egoic thing and less of a thing of like truly how he felt about me. But let's fast forward. So this week, he works a job that has him being away for a period of time and then he's home for a period of time, then he's away. So I normally can kind of clock the 3-week cycle of him being away, knowing when he's going to come back. Because normally the time that he comes back is the 1 week of every month where I am swamped at work because my job is to change around an entire store and accept an additional units of merchandise in a store that may or may not have had enough sell-through to hold. Anyways, long story short, right? So I know this guy's getting off this week. I know that we're probably going to see each other. Mind your business. I was ready to get the fuck ASAP, okay? I was ready for him to crack my eggs, okay? At any rate, so he, communicates with me one evening and tells me, I'm off the boat, blah, 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 I want to see you. And I was like, well, you kind of waited last minute, whatever. Anyway, the communication kind of just derails from there. So then the next day, I'm like, oh, hey, what happened to you? Like, what's going on? Are we hanging out or not? You DTF or what? So then we talk, then I get a weird text message from him because I text him and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you disappear again? Like, I can't really deal with that shit. So then I get this weird text message, right? I'm going to read it verbatim because I don't want any of this to be lost on you because I want you to understand what exactly I was dealing with out here in the streets. Okay, please hold. Because, this is a lot. I know it's going to be a lot. I got to find the text message. So, give me un momento. So, at any rate, this fool... Now, that's another thing. I'm not really big on including random people in on my relationship because I think it's weird. So, then... I speak to him earlier. He tells me he's with his sister. So then I get a text message saying, he not playing fucking games. Was talking to my dad about his prostate. Be cool. Now I know you're wondering, what? Yeah, that's the same thing I was wondering. Why would he be texting me talking about himself in third person? Unless this is not him texting me. This is his sister. Which, either which way, I thought to be very weird. You're a grown man. Why is your sister picking up your phone And secondly, why would your sister feel the need to defend you unless you told in that moment that like, oh, this girl is cussing me out because whatever. Now, one thing I can't stand is when people aren't accountable for their bullshit. Now, the reason why I was cussing his ass out via text was not because his dad was in the hospital or whatever the case is with a prostate issue. It was because of his lack of communication. I hate it when people, instead of being accountable for their bullshit, if something else is going on, they make it seem like you are being insensitive about that something else. And that is the reason why you should excuse their bullshit behavior. And if you were any kind of a human, this wouldn't be a big deal to you. You'd excuse their shit because they've got something going on in their life or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? Now, here's my thing. I'm not excusing shit, okay? You did something stupid. I'm not into it. And I'm sorry that your dad has an issue, but that's really none of my business. You know what I mean? Any which way, I decided I needed to take a moment to decide how I was going to deal with this situation, because the dramatic me would have, text back and been like, bitch, who the fuck is this? And who you think you talking to, bitch? And you need to mind your fucking business. The more civil, mindful me waited about an hour or so before I responded and just said, appreciate the communication. Done. At that point, I decided that it is probably for the best that me and this person never speak ever again. So rest in peace to that relationship, and I have been delivered from drama. Thank you. Okay. So, you guys, let it not go unsaid, though, that I am still out here on this market, okay? But unless Prince Charming is going to literally knock on my door, I just don't know how I intend to meet him. Anyways, that's another conversation for another day. On to serious matters. Rest in peace to 3-year-old Camille Cupcake McKinley. I'm not sure if you guys had heard about this story, but sometime in early October, Camille was kidnapped from a birthday party in Alabama on October 12th. Her young body was found this week in a dumpster. Authorities have charged 39-year-old Devon Stallworth and his 29-year-old girlfriend, Derek Arisha Brown, with capital murder. The reason why I felt it prudent to share this news with you guys is because I know that we are going into the holiday season. And a lot of you are going to be going to parties or going to be doing a lot of things with your kids. I implore you to always remember that your babies are babies. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you look at them and you think human experience, neglecting the fact that they're young and they may not know danger or harm. And so it is our responsibility. And I say our because, as an adult, if I am in a situation where there are kids around me, whether or not they are my direct responsibility, I feel it prudent to make sure that I'm keeping an eye out because they're kids. So please, I talk about this weekly, when it comes to even being in our own neighborhoods and the way that we drive or I think that the thing that we oftentimes neglect and relative to this story is that people who were at that party reported seeing this man take this girl in the car and leave with her, so there's a lot of weirdness surrounding that because why would you allow a 3-year-old to just leave the party, And if you are having an outdoor party, it is prudent that okay, you have kids there. That means that you're going to have to be cognizant of where all of them are, not just your own, at all times. So, listen, our community matters, our kids matter, and I am just tired of seeing weird and unnecessary stories in the media about babies and about our babies. So, just be more vigilant when it comes to the kids. And I'm never going to stop talking about little black boys and girls who have been kidnapped or who have met hurt or harm because of negligence or irresponsibility or just happenstance, whatever the case is. I'm always going to bring those stories to you because it's important, At any rate, So here's something else that has been going on lately. Lizzo, truth hurt Lizzo. Lizzo had a little snafu with some writing credits. I don't know if you guys heard about this story, but there were a group of men who I don't believe were named in any part